NBA Conference Finals time is finally here. I'm going to start with the Eastern Conference today. I'm going to take a look at a series future bet in this series between Indiana and Boston. I'm going to look at the series games played to go over 5.5 games in this particular series. Current price is plus 140. In order to get here, obviously, we need Indiana to force it to a game 6. The reason why we're playing over 5.5 games here rather than Indiana plus 2.5 games, which virtually works out to the same thing, is because of the price tag. Here we can get plus 140. If we just take Indiana plus 2.5 games, you can only get plus 125. These are general numbers, kind of consensus numbers. So again, shop around. Every shop is going to be different. Let's get into the reasons why here real quick. Obviously, Boston has shown the sign of lackadaisical play in each series that they've had so far. Come off a game 1 blowout against Miami at home, get destroyed at home in game 2 as a big favorite. Same deal in the second series with Cleveland, beat them easily in game 1, and then come back and get whacked in game 2. So the probability of stealing one here in Boston for Indiana is there. There's a chance they can come out of here with a 1-1 series split, which would only help us on our way to a 6-game series. Indiana, for what it's worth, they're capable. They played 2 close games in New York in games 1 and 2. Then they did win in Madison Square Garden game 7. And, of course, they won game 2 in Milwaukee after being beaten in game 1. So Indiana's got the ability. Boston does tend to let off the gas pedal a little bit. Each side has arrived at this point by beating banged-up basketball teams. So the argument works both ways. I mean, if you like Indiana, you're going to point out the fact that Boston has defeated Miami and Cleveland, which were both extremely shorthanded in their series, especially at the end of the Cleveland series for Boston, where there was no Donovan Mitchell to go with Jared Allen. And, of course, Karis LeVert sat the last game. On the Indiana side, of course, they played the entire series against Milwaukee without Giannis even stepping on the floor, and Damian Lillard did miss a game there as well. And the Knicks, we don't even have to get into all the names, but they only had 6 or 7 healthy bodies. So each team has benefited from opposing injuries in each of their first 2 series. Boston has not faced a team with this type of pace. I mean, Indiana is the top pace team in the NBA. They go the fastest, and they haven't faced a team that could score like this. Obviously, Miami and Cleveland are more methodical, non-scoring threat type teams. On the other side of that coin, Indiana hasn't faced a team with the defensive ability of Boston, high-caliber defensive squad. This is why the Celtics acquired Drew Holiday for an Eastern Conference Finals series where they need a perimeter defender. This is why Indiana acquired Pascal Siakam. They need a guy who's been there before, done this, to lead the way, and he certainly did that against the Knicks when OG Anunoby was out. I think the last look here at this particular series, the Kristaps Porzingis injury, his absence early on, is a key in this one, key reason why you would play Indiana. The Pacers are the number 1 team remaining in this Final Four as far as points in the paint are concerned. They're averaging 51.2 points in the paint. That's almost 9.5 better than what Boston averages. And when you score in the interior and the other side doesn't have their biggest interior defender, that's a plus for the Pacers. Indiana has shown a real good ability to hold home court. We like that here in forcing this to a 6-game series. This should get extended a shade. I don't know that it can make 7, but certainly it should find its way to 6. I think over 5.5, again, provides more value than taking Indiana plus 2.5 games. So that's where we're going to land on this one. Boston, Indiana, this Eastern Conference Finals series, over 5.5 games, plus 140. Let's get it to 6, and we'll cash this ticket.